Merry meet, Annie here. If you were watching the Flow of the Rite series to this point, you have been, I declare, in the longest ritual that has ever been performed. If we don't count the beautiful length of your life as a glorious ritual. I last did a video for this series back in April of last year. Yeah, you've been stuck in Flow of the Rite limbo all that time. To remind you, if you're watching this in current time, we did everything in the Flow of the Rite series that led us up to the night that we did our ritual. We cast the circle. We called the guardians. We honored the elements. We welcomed our gods in whatever way was comfortable for us. And now, the next thing to consider is honoring the old ones. That is the next in our series on the Flow of the Rite. The old ones, they're not our ancestors. Some of you, as part of your rites, will welcome your ancestors specifically. You're not going to see it in this Flow of the Rite because it's not part of my rituals unless I'm doing a ritual intentionally focused on them. You, however, many of you will have a practice, will have a relationship to your beloved dead, those who have been in your life in some way, that you make a part of all of the welcoming at the beginning of your rite. So think about that for yourself as a possibility. Remember, I've stressed several times now, the Flow of the Rite that I'm presenting to you is all the possible things you might consider as part of your ritual. Some of the things will resonate with you. Some you would like to do. Maybe a lot simpler. Some you just aren't called to do. So I may not have given you a specific video on honoring your ancestors, those you knew and loved to have passed. It doesn't mean you might not consider including them in your rituals. The old ones that I am referring to are not our ancestors. These old ones reside in the north, if we consider it aligned to Wicca. They are all who have passed, where we think of those our dearly beloved, our beloved dead, as being aligned to west, to the element of water. So my guides, my friends, my family members, the person I'm named for, Annika, they all reside in the west because they are the dearly beloved dead who have passed over. The old ones in the north, though, are all who are no longer with us. If we looked at it at a psychological aspect, we would say it's the collective consciousness, the wisdom of all who have ever gone before. It could be, when we cast our circle, that it's all who have experienced connection to the same thing we have, that we look to for guidance and support, that blazed the way, that practiced indigenous or earth-based practices that we connect to, that we understand. It might be everyone throughout all time who has ever worked with the energies of magic. Honor the old gods. It could also be a vast collection, a collective of the wisdom of humankind outside of any particular spiritual or religious set of beliefs or practices. I look at it as the collected wisdom of all who have ever been. And sometimes it feels like all who ever will be too. Sometimes the old ones reside in a place that I conceive of as outside of time. The power is that it connects us in yet another way to something that is greater than. It reminds us, as a solitary practitioner or sitting in circle with beloved kin, that we are not sitting in circle by ourselves or in a group of a dozen or more people. We are in the presence of something that is so much, almost inconceivably larger than that. It's a comforting surrounding of all. who have contributed any form of wisdom to the collective memory of humankind. No matter the name of the deity that you worship, the energy behind that will connect you to the old ones, the ones who will know you, recognize you, even if you don't know them. They do tend to stay mysterious and silent in our partnership. You may have a name that you give them. Some people feel that old ones are the generation of wisdom that they come to know in a specific entity or energy. The only thing for sure in Wiccan practice is our beloved dead who reside in the West, those we know their faces, we remember them, we remember the touch of them, we remember what they said to us, we remember our love for them, are not the same energy as the old ones of the North. Oh, they were someone's beloveds, there's no doubt about it, and we can love and respect them, but we don't have that feeling of individual, personal relationship with them. They are wisdom. I do honor them every time I do a ritual. And my way of doing that is by words that I use in every one of my rituals. When it comes to this part of the flow of the rite, I say to them, hear me, old ones. There is still power in your ancient names: Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Sighing in the darkness, whispered on the wind: Mithras, Osiris, Cernunnos, Apollo, Hanuman, Wotan, Dumus. Why do I honor the old ones with the names of gods? Because all of our gods, the ones we know, and all of them beyond that, all of them have 1,000 names, and each one of their names is an aspect of wisdom they represent. The collective body of the old ones, because they rose out of the wisdom, the desire, the calling out of all those who have come before us or are yet to come. It's a matter of acknowledgement, an act of humility in a way, gratitude for all that wisdom that is available for us to reach out to. I truly believe they respond to our respect and are glad to be remembered and will be present for us as we need them. And on a night when I want to focus specifically on them, I will sing the chants. You all know them, I'm sure. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. And I will know I'm one with the ancients. And then I will acknowledge Mithras, Osiris, Cernunnos, Apollo, Hanuman, Wotan, Dumus. And again, I'm one with all who have come before and what they created, because what they needed, I need too. And I become part of the flow of time with them, honoring the old ones. I wish you all mirth and reverence. Merry part.